Hi, welcome to this current edition of Start the Week. It's already the second week of September, and Ranjit, it's been quite a while, and today we'll be focusing on the political front, on the sports front, as well as on the business front. You're here for the business portion of Start the Week. We are heading in the right direction, I hear, in terms of our GNI figures.
Yeah, okay. Recently, I think there was an announcement made by the Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Datuk Seri Wahid, that according to a survey undertaken by the government, the household income has actually reached 5,900 ringgit per month. But of course, the jury is still out whether this income is being felt by the majority of the people in the country, as we all know that the subsidy rationalisation of fuel prices and also the increase in tariff hikes has increased the burden of the rakyat actually. And at the moment, if you look back at the figures from the deposits made or the savings rate at the Employees Provident Fund, it says that 69% of the depositors or the contributors to the EPF, the Employees Provident Fund, have funds below 50,000 savings in the account. So this is quite detrimental to their savings pattern, because according to the government, what it aspires to achieve is 196,000 ringgit deposits per contributor at the age of retirement. So if you have 50,000, depending on your length of service, in all probability you will not reach that level.
So this 5,000 per capita GNI refers to household rather than individual, father or mother, but
yes,
double income.
Yes, double income, or maybe if those siblings who are not married or staying under the same roof. So it's the contribution of everybody in that household. So that is the definition.
So is there a need to revise our GNI target then, in order for us to be comfortable taking into consideration inflation rate? So is there a need to revise the figure upwards?
Okay, if we solely rely on the CPI, Consumer Price Index, as an indicator of inflation, it might be a bit misleading, because the Consumer Price Index only measures certain goods which are in the basket of goods, and this is not comprehensive. It does not include all the items which are subject to price changes. So to have a wider interpretation of the CPI would be a good way to go. But at the moment, if you say that CPI is about 3.2%, which might not be the case with the increase in prices.
I wonder, Ranjit, if the cost of cigarettes is included in the basket of goods that are taken into account when it comes to coming up with our inflation figures. Because just if you look at today's papers, a box of cigarette now will cost 13 ringgit.
Yes.
Just imagine someone paying a smoker, a 20 stick a day smoker, paying almost 300 ringgit a month. When I was learning Economics 101, the principle of elasticity of demand there was no easier example to understand elasticity of demand than the habit of cigarette smokers. I understand you don't smoke cigarettes, so now you are one of those people who will not suffer from this price hike. But there are other items which do not appear in the calculation when it comes to coming up with our GNI. So does this mean that there are other things which are quite important to people's lives because of the inelasticity of demand?
Yes.
That would figure in someone who is a smoker will remain a smoker unless he gives it up.
Yes.
So the GNI figures, there would have to be drastic revision somewhere along the line.
I don't think so. There will be a drastic revision. There needs to be a drastic revision. What is more important, which has got a greater bearing to one's well-being, is disposable income. This concept of disposable income is very important because it takes into account the price changes of goods, because at the end of the day, disposable income is your real income, what you can spend actually. And if that doesn't change, or that doesn't increase, or doesn't go up, then your quality of life, your livelihood will not increase. So maybe this concept can be altered a bit.
I think let's move on to something more pleasant. Our colleague Cynthia Ng will be leaving for French Guyana. She'll via Paris on Tuesday for the Miasat 3B launch on Friday. This, if you look up the plan for sending up Miasat 3B on Ariane's Pass, would have a bearing on another component of the basket of consumed items for Malaysian households, which is satellite TV. Miasat 3B would be sent up to outer space into orbit with the express aim of creating the region's most powerful and robust orbital TV landscape, supporting direct-to-home TV platforms serving more than 18 million households. That means that would affect the service satellite TV which we're getting now. So this is also one area in which our spending patterns would in a way be affected. We wish our friend Cynthia well. We wish her a pleasant journey all the way to French Guiana via Paris. I guess then we move on to politics. I have on my mobile a statement from the palace, no less, indicating that PAS has submitted 3 names, and this submission of 3 names is an indication that all's not well on the Pakatan Rakyat front. How closely do you follow the political developments in Selangor, or you couldn't really you couldn't care less?
No, I wouldn't say I care less, but I do follow. But I think I agree with you that all is not well on the coalition front. But then again, it shows that this whole episode has brought about greater awareness in political matters among Malaysians. We are more aware, or more inclined to be aware, because of the bombardment of political news coming from all 4 directions. So,
but what's more specific in this particular what's happening in Selangor now is how fit are we ready for woman to head a state. Personally, how divided are the people of Selangor in accepting a woman? This may be within the opposition circles, or in the case of Selangor, the government, for people who have voted them in to accept a woman to be the chief executive of a state.
I think the gender issue is not an issue really, but because of ties with the leader of the opposition, she is seen as the people who are not happy with the leader of the opposition will assume that she is going to be nominated because of the close ties that she has with the leader of the opposition. So I think it shouldn't it shouldn't come to that issue of the gender. Actually, it's more of ability. And I think this time and age...
Well, I guess, Ranjit, not everyone is as decent as you are in terms of gender bias or not, because that's the reason why we're having this problem. Let's move on to sports, because over the weekend we had none other than Khairi Jamaluddin, YB, our minister. Sometimes I think he is more suitable as sports minister, because he was going around in t-shirt. You know, how can a minister get away appearing on TV? Awani, of course. It's just a plain t-shirt, but there he was pulling it off. And because over the weekend he launched Fit Malaysia, I understand there is this huge problem we are facing, that a lot of Malaysians are a bit on the, shall we say, heavier side. And how much of this movement, which is closely identified with one of the younger members and more fit member of the cabinet, how much traction it will get. I don't know whether you did follow the launch over the weekend, but I do see in front of you, Ranjit, a cake. Can you tell me the reason for the cake?
I think this is today is Awani's 7th anniversary.
Awani is 7 years. Viewers out there, Awani is 7 years old this year, and that's the reason why we've only we had a cake delivered to us in the shape of the numeral 7 to show that we're 7 years old, and that's all that is left. And I must hold my hand up to say I wasn't responsible for demolishing the cake, and it has no resemblance to the figure 7 at all. Anyway, so that's our installment of Start the Week for today. We'll see you again. You can access us through all our platforms on Instagram, Facebook, as well as Twitter. We'll see you again next week.